This is Raider News Update with Brian Hessimer and Caitlin Ridge with the news, Vanessa Standbag with arts and entertainment, and Katie Cornacchia with sports. And now, from Studio B at Scotch Plains Fenwood High School, Brian Hessimer and Caitlin Ridge.
Hello and welcome to Period 9's edition of Raider News Update. I'm Brian Hessimer.
And I'm Caitlin Ridge. Schools for Schools is an organization put together by students wanting to rebuild schools in northern Uganda in response to their internal conflict regarding ethnic cleansing. Scotch Plains Fenwood High School has taken action under the leadership of junior Zach Chapman, along with about 30 other students here at the high school, to raise funds for a perimeter wall at Sir Samuel Baker Elementary School in northern Uganda. So far, they have raised $1,840 and plan to reach $67,504 by the end of this school year. Their main fundraiser will be the Week of Peace, held following spring break, which will include a presentation made by representatives of Invisible Children, who will further explain their cause.
On location with teachers Ms. Stavas and Ms. Wolf. Ms. Stavas, can you please tell me about Schools for Schools?
Okay, Schools for Schools is a fundraising campaign that helps to raise money to rebuild schools in northern Uganda and bring textbooks and water and other facilities for them.
Sounds good. Ms. Wolf, what do you have planned for the fundraising events?
We are going to have a Week of Peace in which we are going to have a fundraiser at Cheeseburger on Tuesday night. We're also going to be doing face painting in which just to raise awareness about the situation.
Sounds like fun. Now back to the studio.
An Associated Press investigation set out to answer the question of what's in our water. Unfortunately, scientists have found a vast array of pharmaceutical drugs, including antibiotics, anticonvulsants, mood stabilizers, and sex hormones in the water supplies of at least 41 million Americans. The presence of so many prescription drugs and over-the-counter medicines in so much of our drinking water is heightening worries among scientists of long-term consequences to human health. Although the contents of our drinking water is now an increasing problem, utilities continue to insist their water is safe. I don't know about you, but I'll be sticking to juice.
It's that time of year again, and teams are gearing up for the annual Olympic volleyball season. Captains met last Monday to discuss details for the event, which will be held every Thursday night between 7 and 9 p.m., beginning March 20th, and the event will run until May 1st. Now let's go on location with Deidre Lyons, who caught up with some teams.
Deidre Lyons on location with junior Chris Santangelo, our participant in this year's Olympic volleyball tournament. Can you tell us a little bit about your team?
Yeah, it's made up of, there's a lot of girls and a lot of guys, so little diversity in there.
Well, good luck. I'm on location with two sophomores, John Maxwell and Gary Binkowitz, who are also participating in this year's Olympic volleyball tournament. Can you please tell us a little bit about your team?
Well, we're a bunch of athletes. We dominated dodgeball and we'll probably dominate volleyball as well.
That sounds like fun. Can you tell us who's on your team?
Myself, John, and Rich.
Okay, good luck, and I hope you guys do well. Now back to the studio.
Gas prices, once again, are set to hit record highs in the near future. The U.S. average price of a gallon of gas rose 0.7 cents overnight on Monday, March 10th, to $3.222 a gallon, 69 cents higher than last year. Last May, prices peaked at $3.227 a gallon, but that record is likely to be broken as soon as gas prices accelerate toward levels that could possibly reach prices of $4 a gallon. The Energy Department released a statement saying that prices would most likely peak at around $3.40 a gallon this spring.
Now let's go to this week's Quote of the Week.
Now let's go to Vanessa with arts and entertainment.
Thanks, Brian. This week's top 5 movies are, at number 5, Jumper, number 4, The Other Boleyn Girl, number 3, The Spiderwick Chronicles, number 2, Vantage Point, and at number 1, Semi-Pro. This week's top 5 songs are at number 5, Ya Report Card by Soulja Boy Salem featuring A-Rap, number 4, Crank That by Soulja Boy Salem, number 3, With You by Chris Brown, number 2, Low by Flo Rida featuring T-Pain, and at number 1, Touch My Body by Mariah Carey. This Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m., Scotch Plains Fenwood High School will be holding its annual play in the school's auditorium. There will also be an additional Saturday performance at 3 o'clock due to a blackout this previous Saturday, which prevented the play from continuing. Tickets will be sold for $10 to the general public and for $8 to senior citizens and students. This year's play is entitled Urinetown, which is about a man named Cladwell charging everyone a fee to use toilets because the world is in a state of global warming and he does not want the world to be depleted of water. The title is inspired by a place where people are sent when they refuse to pay Cladwell and instead go to the bathroom in the street. Throughout the play, you will hear many songs put on by the cast that question exactly what Urinetown is, since no one knows. So to find out more about Urinetown, come and check out the play this weekend.
But sir, what is Urinetown? Urinetown's a tool, an instrument of power to enforce my iron. So send your troops to all the stoops and let them understand. If hope is not returned, then it's Urinetown for all the land. If hope is not returned, then Urinetown for all the land. Dance, dance! Do they think I'll dance? Those people with my daughter want to make me treat my dance. Dance, dance, forget it, never not enough. Well, teach them not to take from me what's mine.
And now to Critics Corner with Danny Bernstein and Luke Durrett.
Hi, welcome to Critics Corner. I'm Danny Bernstein.
And I'm Luke Durrett.
And this week we saw Jumper. So Luke, what did you think of the movie?
Overall, Jumper was pretty average. It suffers from the same sort of thing that most movies in the start of a trilogy do, in that it's not really complete. There's a lot of stuff that keeps us hanging and doesn't really make sense as an ending, and you feel sort of like cheated, as if there's some sort of bigger thing that's coming up. But maybe Samuel L. Jackson yelling "There's always consequences" is enough to sell a ticket. Other than that, it was fairly average.
I agree with you. I didn't think the movie was that good. The only perk was Hayden Christensen. But other than that, I feel like I've seen this movie before, so it was more of a cliche than a big thriller. Back to the studio.
And now to Weekend Preview with Jamie Petruka and Catherine Denizzo.
Hi, I'm Catherine Denizzo.
And I'm Jamie Petruka.
And this is your Weekend Preview. Movies to see in theaters this weekend are College Road Trip, Married Life, 10,000 BC, and Snow Angels.
Unfortunately, there are no sports this weekend, so make sure you grab a DVD. The movies to see out in DVD are The Bee Movie, August Rush, Lake of Fire, Nancy Drew, and Hitman. This has been your Weekend Preview. Now back to the studio.
Now let's go to sports with Katie Cornacchia.
Thanks, Kate. The Raider boys basketball team made history last Sunday night, March 9th. According to the Star-Ledger, the 6'1" senior guard, Brian Dewar, finished with 35 points, 2 off his career high, to direct Scotch Plains Fanwood High School to its first NJSIAA Group 3 championship. The final score was 60-53 over Timber Creek at the Rutgers Athletic Center in Piscataway. Other key contributions came from seniors Danny DiCataldo, Lorleo Carter, and junior Kevin Maroney. DiCataldo scored 12 points, made 3 steals, and played excellent on defense. O'Carter finished with 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Maroney closed with 7 rebounds and 4 steals. And Greg Zabel, Reggie Solomon, Melvin Hansels, and Ishmael Raymond all provided solid defense to help defeat Timber Creek. A huge congratulations goes out to all the members of the team, and in hopes to continue their Raider victory, the boys played in the Tournament of Champions on Wednesday. Let's go on location to find out how that went.
I'm Mike Bell on location with 2 state champ basketball players, Greg Zabel and Danny DiCataldo. So how did the game on Sunday at Rutgers go, Greg?
It went great. We played Timber Creek and beat them in a nail-biter, and having our fans there was just an amazing atmosphere.
All right, that sounds great. And I heard that win prevailed you to the TOC last night against Immaculata. How did that game go, Dan?
It didn't go too well. We lost, but at least we had a good senior pride in that game.
And what was it like to play in the Tournament of Champions, knowing you're one of the best teams in New Jersey?
It was a great feeling. I've wanted to get there ever since I joined high school basketball team, and it was just great.
All right, well, congratulations with the whole season, and now back to the studio.
As the winter sports come to an end, the spring sports bloom into season. The baseball, softball, track, golf, and boys tennis teams hit the fields, links, and courts to prepare for the season ahead. Let's go on location with the captains of these teams to find out their expectations for the season.
Joe Sublay here with one of the captains from the varsity tennis team, Mr. Theodore Rosenblatt. So what are your expectations for the season?
We expect to be a very strong team this year. We have a lot of returning players, and we expect to compete highly in this conference.
So who are the other captains on the tennis team?
The other captains are senior Mike DeVizio, senior Ryan Kruger, and senior Scott Layden.
Here on location with senior softball sensation Nicole Connery. So Nicole, what are your expectations on this year's season?
This year we are definitely hoping to make it far in the county tournament and definitely to states.
And who will be some of your key players this season?
Actually this season we have pretty much the same team. 2 new players, Danielle Setti and Catherine Denizzo, hopefully can bring something to the team. Otherwise everyone has something to contribute.
Good luck with your season. Thank you, Nicole. Location with captain of the golf team, Brian Pack. So, Brian, how's your season going to look this year?
Well, we're probably not going to do as good as last year, but we're definitely, going to try to do better.
With the captains of the baseball team, Brian Bacola and Tommy Hercel. So, Brian, who are some of the key players and other captains of the baseball team?
The other 2 captains are returning starters, Will Hubbard and James Denizzo, catcher. And then other key players we have are like Joe D'Annunzio in center field, and then returning players like Mike Ridge, Nick Bonides, Kevin Maroney.
So, Tom, what do you think your season's going to look like this year?
This year, our season's going to look good. Depends on our competition, but what we saw in the summer, I think we're going to do very well in 2008.
That's good. Good luck to you guys. Both the boys and girls track team, Mike Alman and Sarah Canfield. So, Mike, how do you feel the boys' season's going to look this year?
Hopefully pretty good. We definitely want to win the county title this year.
And how about the girls' season?
I think it's going great. I think we have a lot of talented girl athletes, and we're working hard.
That's good. Good luck to both teams.
Now back to Caitlin and Brian.
Now let's go to this week's Curve of the Week.
Chris Santangelo. I'm Rob Desiato. And this is Jarrett Cohen's Jeep Wrangler. Jarrett's Rubicon's got some 33-inch tires for some good off-roading. It's got a 4-inch suspension lift. It's also got some nice spotlights on the front so you can go off-roading at night.
Calling out to all area group, we gon' happen right here, right now. I wanna welcome y'all to house of who the hell he is. And it's cool that y'all can make it to my new meeting. So take your time, grab a table, we got booths seating. Now allow me introduce me to my new people. See, my name is Lyrics Born, baby, and I truly mean it. From the past, from the future, from the new and recent. You don't believe it, you can read it, page 1 in your leaflet. L-Y-R-C-S, funk, feel it, born, baby. Top of echelon of MCing. And I think on that topic, we all in agreement. I'm never running from a challenge, never been cheapish. In the rap, all the fame we got to get me in. You got to see me do my thing, son, I'm too fiendish. Flinging tune after tune till the wound deepen. I have a room of human beings feeling woozy like a fiend leaning. Moving to the music in a fever screaming, baby. Calling out to all area group, we gon' make this happen right here, right now. Calling out to all area group, we gon' make it happen right here, right now. Calling out.
This has been another edition of Period 7/8's Car of the Week. I'm Rob Desiato. And I'm Chris Santangelo. We'll see you next week.
You think I'll ever hang it up on money, stop dreaming. You think I'll ever stop? Oh, baby, now you're reaching. I won't stop till I feel my lungs stop breathing. I won't stop till I feel my heart stop beating. I won't stop speaking this week and next week and all fall. Steve singing, I don't stop singing. Fire freezing, ice heating, fire palms reading all fat, fall free, clear from the mountaintop screaming, baby.
And now let's go to weekend weather with our very own Hurricane Han.
Hello, Scotch Fans family. This is Hurricane Han for your weekend weather forecast. Before I get to the forecast, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is you won't be dealing with near hurricane force winds and hurricane type rains unlike last weekend, which of course I'm not responsible for. But the bad news is it's still going to rain this weekend. So hey, don't put away those umbrellas. Now, on Friday, it's going to be 56 degrees. That's the good part. But the bad part is it's going to rain in the afternoon. And at nighttime, it's going to be 35 degrees with rain continuing overnight. And on Saturday, it's going to be 54 degrees with still a chance of rain. So don't think about putting an umbrella away. And at nighttime, it's going to be 35 degrees with another chance of rain. I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, hey! All right, on Sunday, it's going to be sunny. Mostly sunny, that is, with a high of 48 degrees. So hey, you can put your umbrellas away now. It's going to be fine. And at nighttime, it's going to be 30 degrees under mostly clear skies. This is Hurricane Han. Have a great weekend. Back to the studio.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition of Raider News Update.
Make sure to tune in next week for Period 4-5's edition.